Hi everyone, welcome to Lace Academy's YouTube videos. Today, I'll be discussing the best way of answering a few questions from quantitative aptitude module that were given in the DRC test of TCS NQT 2020. These questions were shared to me by a few students asking what is the best way of answering these questions because in many other YouTube videos, these questions were answered in a very long way, taking more than 1.5 to 2 minutes each question. Let us see the best logical way of answering a few questions that I have selected from those in this part of the video. The remaining questions I'll be sharing in the next part of the video, which contains other questions shared by the people where they wanted to know the best of logical approach to answer these questions. From the next slide onwards, I'll be showing each question per slide and the best way of answering that question. A and B together can do a work in 16 days. B and C together can do the same work in 20 days. If A is twice as good as a workman as C, that means A's efficiency is 2 times of C, I can straight away say A and B together are having an efficiency of 1 by 16. B and C together having efficiency of 1 by 20. Now we know that A is 2 times of C. So I can, instead of C, I can directly say C is half of A, is having efficiency of 1 by 20, which actually comes to 2B plus A is equal to 1 by 10. By taking these two, I can directly find out B's value. If I subtract 2B plus A minus A plus B, I'll be getting B is equal to 1 by 10 minus 1 by 60. What is 1 by 10 minus 1 by 16? 8 by 80 minus 5 by 80. It is 3 by 80. So we directly got B's efficiency here. Is asking nothing else. So B plus half of A is having 1 by 20 efficiency. If I take it, 2B plus A is equal to 1 by 10. So 2B plus A, say A plus B I'm minusing, so that I'm getting B equal to 1 by 10 I'm taking as 8 by 80. 1 by 16 is 5 by 80. So it is 3 by 80. So B takes how many days to finish the work? 80 by 3 days to finish the work, which comes to 26.66, right? Now let us see what the next question is given. X takes 2.5 hours more than Y to cover a distance. Okay. If X doubles his speed, he can cover the same distance in 1.5 hours less than Y. See, basically, whenever a person doubles his speed, the time taken will be half of the previous time. That means this 1.5 hour less than Y time should be half of his initial time, which is 2.5 hours more than Y. So I can say Y's time plus 2.5 hours should be double of Y, say be 1.5 hour less, because he doubled his speed, automatically time should be halved. So this gives me, if I replace Y equal, if I rearrange Y equal to minus 3 goes that side, it becomes plus 3, 5.5 hours. That means Y is taking 5.5 hours to complete the total distance. He's asking in what time Y can cover 2/3 of the distance. He can cover 2/3 of the distance in 2/3 of this time. What is 2 by 3rd of 5.5? 2 by 3 into 5.5, 11 by 3 hours. Nothing else is there. Very near to 4 hours. Right? Now let's see what is the next question. Renu bought 28 articles for 1540 rupees. Bought. This is the buying price. She sold them, getting a gain equal to selling price of 6 articles. How many articles did she sell at a given price is asking. So he's asking something about selling price. We'll see very simply what is the meaning of getting a gain of SP of 6 articles. So when you are getting a gain, you are getting your actual cost price plus something extra. And that something extra is called gain, which is equal to 6 articles selling price. So even the 6 articles were not sold, you are not getting anything extra, but you are getting your own money back. So the question is indirectly saying, even in 28 articles, you do not sell the last 6 articles, you will be getting back your 1540. So in 28 articles, if 6 articles are not sold, that means by simply selling 22 articles, you are getting 1540. So 22 articles are sold at 1540. Then at 840, how many articles are sold is the question asked. If you can cancel with 22, 22 sevens is 154. So what sevens is 84 is question. So what sevens is 84? 12. So 12 articles are sold at 840 rupees. Very straightforward question. 22 articles are sold at 1540. The other selling price of 6 articles will be the gain. We are not bothered about gain. So if 22 articles are sold at 1540, how many articles will be sold at 840? 22 sevens is 154. So the number that is coming here, sevens must be 84. We know that 12 sevens is 84. Simple proportion. Let's see the next question given. In a company, 58% of employees are males. Okay, 58% are males, 42% are females. No problem. 48% of the employees are graduates. Graduates are 48%, of which 33.33%, which is 1 by third, are males. So in this 1 by third, which 16% are males. So the remaining 32% should be female. Among females, among 42% females, the percentage of those who are not graduates. See, 32% females are graduates, total females are 42%, and not graduates are 10%. So that 10% out of overall graduate females, 42, 10 out of 42 is what percentage is asking. Don't go for calculating this unnecessarily. This is very near to 1 by 4, 10 by 42. 1 by 4 is 25%, but 42 is a bit more than 40. So the answer should be just less than 25. So answer should be near to 23 or 24%. So take the option which is nearest to 23 or 24% and go to the next question. Don't waste your time calculating your answers here. If all the answers are given like this, then the examiner is asking you to calculate. If all the answers are not given like that, only one answer is very near to 23 or 24, other answers are a bit higher or lower, then directly this will be your answer. So sometimes unnecessarily we keep calculating the last value which was not required because of the options. So you have to see whether the options are friendly or not. So 10 out of 42 is nearly 10 out of 40, which is 25. 42 is there in the denominator. So slightly bigger value in the denominator, slightly less than 25. Any answer which is very near to 24 can be your answer, 23.8, 23.7, something like that. Let's see the next question. A's capital exceeds B's by 20.5%. That means A and B, if B is investing 100 rupees, 100%, A is investing nearly 120%, let's say 0.5% doesn't really matter. Let's take the call last at the last. B invests his capital at 20% per annum, 3 years compounded annually. Okay. At what rate A invests his capital of 120 at SI so that at the end of 3 years both get the same amount? 100% when invested at 20% for 3 years compounded annually, he'll get 172.8 because this is nothing but 120 into 120 into 120, 12 cube. Now this 120 also has to go up to 172.8. Now we have to see how much percentage increase is needed. 172.8 should be becoming finally by 120. Now this is the percentage increase needed, or the overall percentage that is happening. Now you can say the percentage increase needed directly can be found out like this also. How much percentage increase is needed? 52.8 is increase. Nearly even if you take 120.5 here, it is 51 point or 52.3, you can directly say. Now this is 5, this is 6. You can see here what is happening. 6 8 48. Still there is 4, 6 sixes or 6 sevens nearly. So 8.7, 8.7 into what is going to 43.5 or 44%, let's say. So 43.5% increase is happening in 3 years on simple interest. So every year how much is needed? 43.5 by 3, which comes to 14.5%. So approximately 14.5% is the interest he has to invest. So how did this 172.8 comes and other things? You can learn from my video on compounding, which is present in the topic called or concept called proportions. A full video is there in the same channel. You can just go through it. So 20% 3 years compounding 172.8. So he invested 120.5. So 120.5 increased to 172.8. It is nearly 43.5% increase. So 43.5% increase happening in 3 years. Every year 14.5. Nothing more calculations are needed than this. Many people actually asked me very critically about this question because in many YouTube channels they have calculated a lot of things. Once you know 172.8, nothing is to be known. Nothing is to be known. And you have to see what is the percentage increase happening. Nearly 43 in 3 years. So 14.5 is the nearest percentage he has to invest it. Right? Let's see the next question. A's income is 70% of B's income. Okay. Expenditure of B is 20% less than the expenditure of A. Okay. Expenditure of A is 60% of B. You can just see here. A's income is 70% of B. A's expenditure is 60% of B. And is asking about savings. So savings of A will be 70% of B minus 60%, which is 10% B. So A is saving only 10% of B straightforwardly. Now, expenditure of B is 20% less than A. Actual expenditure of A is 60% of B. Than that 20% less. 20% less of 60% is 8 into 6, 48%. So B is spending 48% of his income. That means B is saving only 52% of his income. He is asking the ratio between savings of A and B. 10 is to 52, 5 is to 30, 26. That's it. Nothing else is needed. So A, income is 70% of B, expenditure is 60% of B, so his saving is 10% of B. So than this 60% B A's expenditure, B is spending 20% less. 20% less means you should get 80% in mind. 80% of 60% is 48. 8 6 are 48. So 52% is safe because expenditure is 48. So he's asking 10 is to 58. Anyhow, B get cancelled. No problem of that. So 10 is to 52 is what ratio? It's all about understanding the English given here. This is not math. This is purely English. Only maths needed here is 6 8s are 48. 100 minus 48 is 52. Nothing else. No calculations are needed more than those things. Let's see what is the next question. The ratio of ages of A and B 9 years ago was 23:12. The ratio of their ages after 15 years will be 35:24. Now there are two different ways of answering this question. One way is to observe how many parts are increased for each person. Sometimes according to your luck, the number of parts of ratio increase for one person and the other person must be same. It may be same. That is your advantage, but always it cannot happen. So I'll tell you the normal method first and then the direct method. So 9 years ago, let us say A was 23x and B was 12x. From 9 years ago to 15 years after, they are increasing each by 24 years. And this age ratio is equal to 35 by 24. But to calculate this, it takes actually a bit of time. Right, it takes time, obviously. So instead of doing this calculation, if you observe what is happening, sometimes this may happen, every time this may not happen. Here advantage is 23 parts of A are becoming 35 parts. So A is increasing by 12 parts. 12 parts of B are increasing to 24. B is also increasing by 12. So luckily each person is increasing by 12 parts of the ratio when they increased by 25 4 years each. So 12 parts increase is equal to 24 years increase. So each part is equal to 2 years in this ratio. Each part is equal to 22 years. So their previous ages 9 years ago were 46 and 24 because 23 twos, 12 twos. Now present is asking. So 9 years ago say present means each person becomes plus 9 plus 9. So they'll become 55 and 33. So their present ages become 55, 33 whose ratio is 5 is to 3. But this is possible only because the advantage given here, both of them are increasing by same number of parts. Both of them are increasing by same number of parts. If that does not given, then we would have gone for this. From this, you can find x value, which actually you may be getting x equal to 2. Once you get x value, you have to find out their 9 years ago ages and then plus 9 you can do. Right? Now let us see what is the next question given. A milk vendor has 3 varieties of milk, 403 gallons of the first variety, 465 gallons of the second variety, 496 gallons of the third variety. Find the least possible number of bottles of equal size which can be used to completely pour these varieties without mixing. First of all, we have to find out what is the largest size of the bottle we can use. Largest size of the bottle should be able to divide all the given quantities without any splitting, which is nothing but HCF of the given numbers. There are many methods of finding HCF, but the easiest method is keep one of the values as it is and take the mutual differences. The differences between these two is 62. The differences between them is 31. Now we can see 31 and 62. 31 is a factor of 62. 31 is a factor of 403 also. So the highest common factor is 31. That means we have to take 31 liter bottles. So with the 31 liter bottles, 403 liters take 13 bottles because 31 13 is 403. Same way, 465 takes 15 bottles. 31 into 15 is 465. 465 plus 31 is 96. So one extra. So 16. So these are the number of bottles needed For each variety separately, the total number of bottles needed is 44 bottles. Nothing. So this is the size of bottle we can take, the largest possible size of bottle. Why I am taking the largest possible size? Because I need the least number of bottles. If I take the smallest bottle, I will be finding highest number of possible bottles. Right. So let's see. This method actually of finding HCF, I have discussed in complete detail in my video on number systems, which have part 1, part 2, part 3. Anybody wants to learn number system completely without leaving any point, you can go through these 3 videos in the same channel. Let's see what the next question I have taken. Yes and R take 12 days to finish a work. If yes worked at half efficiency, R works at thrice is efficiency. Oh, this is straightforward. My S plus R has 1 by 12 efficiency. Yes worked with half efficiency, R worked with 3 times efficiency, 1 by 9 efficiency. I want to find S value. So I'll multiply this with 3 so that R get cancelled and subtract. 3s minus s by 2 is 7s by 2. Sorry, 5s by 2. 3r minus 3 cancel. 1 by 4 minus 1 by 9 is 5 by 36. So we're getting s equal to 1 by 18 straightforwardly. So s takes how many days? 18 days. Nothing else is needed. He's simply asking whether we know how to deal with fractions. It's very simple. 1 by, because 3 into 1 by 12 is 1 by 4. 1 by 4 minus 1 by 9 is 5 by 36. 5 get cancelled, 2 goes there, s equal to 1 by 18, so 18 days. So these are all simply less than 40 seconds questions. Right. Don't unnecessarily go into bigger methods and bigger unnecessary logic. Let's see what the next question is. A certain number of chocolates were distributed among a class of students. The student who got 1/6 of the total chocolates, so one student got 1/6 of the total chocolates, his number of chocolates is nothing but 5 times of the average of the chocolates other people got. So let's say there are n members of people and c chocolates. So if one person got 1/6 of the chocolates, the other people should be distributing remaining 5/6 of the chocolates. And this 5/6 of the chocolates distributed by n minus 1 members. This is the average of the remaining people, remaining chocolates by remaining members. This average 5 times is equal to the chocolates that the person got, which is 1/6 of the total chocolates. Straightforwardly, I'm putting math into or English into math. This is what we call as coding. I'm coding the English language given into math equation, math relation. Remaining chocolates distributed by remaining members average 5 times is equal to the chocolates got by the person, which is 1/6 of the total. C get cancelled, 6 get cancelled, n minus 1 equal to 25, n equal to 26. Straightforward answer. Nothing is there. Don't go for more than 3 steps of any answer. If you are putting more than 3 steps in any answer, you may be going wrong. So please do not unnecessarily go into unnecessary tricks. There are no tricks here. There are no shortcuts here. Shortcuts are not needed. What is the straightforward? If I write this and I know that 6 get cancelled, C get cancelled, 5 is 25. For 5 table also, do we need shortcuts? So what is the best way of learning aptitude then? Oh, sorry, this is about my placement aptitude cracker course. If anybody has interest, you can just go through the details here. The best thing you need to know is aptitude doesn't have any shortcut and tricks are not needed by us. Tricks are only for magicians, not for logicians. We are logicians. We use logic. So what is the best way of learning any aptitude concept? Be away from shortcuts and tricks. This is what I have been saying for the last 17, 18 years. I have been into training. If any person comes and says, I'll tell shortcut, first go away from him. If any person wants to come and say, I'm giving you some tricks, go away from him. Otherwise, you will become dumb. Those shortcuts will give something called adrenaline rush. You know adrenaline, right? Adrenaline is a hormone which gives you happiness, thrill, excitement. అది చూసినప్పుడు when you see that, you feel, array will not give any examinations result to you. You have to get the actual concept behind it. So be logical, be cool. No shortcut is needed because aptitude itself is the shortest cut. That's why I call them as logic cuts. If you see my videos, I call them as logic cuts. If you use the logic, you need not use any other shortcut or long cut or wrong cut, round cut, square cut, nothing. The cuts can be there in dresses, straight cut, long cut, anarkali cut, not in anything else. Okay. So please be away from these two. Thank you. Hope that you all will definitely crack your examinations. And for any support on aptitude, you can always approach me or approach our academy through the numbers that I have provided. All the best for your examinations.